Hello and welcome to the Embroidered Elephant channel. My name is Kim and today I am going to do a video on the 6-month update of the granny squares that I've been making. So you will notice I'm in a bit of a different room today. I am sat in my bedroom on the floor because we're having a little bit of a heat wave in England at the moment, and if you know anything about England, if you're English yourself, we don't deal with heat particularly well. I know that I don't, so I'm sat in the bedroom because it's a little bit cooler in here. Plus I've got a bit more space to sort of show you all of the squares that I've made so far. As a disclaimer, it's not actually the end of 6 months yet. I'm filming this sort of mid-June at the moment because in the next couple of weeks I'm going to go on holiday, so I'm not going to have a chance to update you properly. But I have reached 50 books that I finished so far. So I've got 50 granny squares. So I wanted to put these squares all together so that I can see how it looks at the moment and just talk a little bit about my process so far. So if you haven't seen any of my videos before, I decided at the start of this year to crochet a granny square using 2 colours from the cover of the books that I read this year. So far I have read 50 books, so I've got 50 granny squares that coordinate with the covers. So anyway, let me go through them. So I know I initially filmed a video once I had done 3 months worth of books. I think I had around 25 finished squares. I don't know how many more books I'm going to finish this month, probably not too much. I've started crocheting a bit more and therefore the amount that I'm crocheting, the amount that I'm reading is going down a little bit. So they tend to sort of be the opposites of each other. Either I'm crocheting a lot and not really reading, or vice versa. So when I did this video 3 months ago, I showed you each of the granny squares and I told you which book they represented. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to do it for all 50 of the books just so that you can see which colours go with which one, and just in case you're interested. I will try and put timestamps in just in case you wanted to skip this part. That's totally fine. But I'm really excited to eventually put them all down and see all the colours together. So let's get started. Weird angle, I have changed it slightly, but the lighting is slightly better. So, and I will say as I'm going through these, if you want any more information about the books, my thoughts or anything like that, I have done separate videos on them, so I won't harp on the synopsis or anything like that in this video. Number 1, The Strange, Dark and Mysterious. Number 2, The Midnight Library. Number 3, Choose Your Own Death. Number 4, Reasons to Stay Alive. Number 5, Fallen. Number 6, Lost Boys. Number 7, Genesis. Number 8, The Butcher Game. Number 9, Skylight. The Skylight, sorry. Number 10, Dead Simple. 11, The Handmaid's Tale. 12, The Trauma Cleaner. 13, The Testaments. 14, Cat Lady. 15, Brokeback Mountain. 16, Hello Mum. 17, The Replacement Centre. 18, The Baby Is Mine. 19, Think Again. 20, Where the Crawdads Sing. 21, Lessons in Chemistry. 22, Restless. 23, Tess of D'Urberville. 24, I Will Not Be Erased. 25, Broken and Betrayed. 26, Sunrise on the Reaping. 27, Before the Coffee Gets Cold. 28, How to Kill Your Family. 29, Kiss Cut. 30, We Need to Talk. 31, Nerve. 32, Family Torn Apart. 33, Hunchback. 34, Kiss Kiss. 35, Hex. 36, The Year of Living Danishly. 37, My Sister the Serial Killer. 38, Consent. 39, Almost Adulting. 40, Open Throat. 41, Boy in the Striped Pyjamas. 42, Dear Dolly. 43, Anne of Green Gables. 44, It Ends With Us. 45, Universal Love Stories. 46, Unbirthday. 47, The Switch. 48, Stig of the Dump. 49, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. And 50, The Thursday Murder Club. So they were all 50 of the books that I've read so far this year. My plan is to lay them all out so that I can see the colour combinations, just what it looks like all together. I think I raised this in the last video. I am aware that I need to sew in the ends on my granny squares. I haven't done that yet. I should have. I should have done that as I went, because then it would be less of a task. I do need to do it, so yeah, I'm just putting it off. So I will do that at some point, knowing me, probably at the end of the year, once I've got 100 of them ready to go. Just because that would be really annoying, and that's just something that I can see myself doing, unfortunately. So my plan this year was to only finish 12 books. I only read 12 books last year, and I think 3, 4, 5 of them or such were actually read in December, because I thought there is no way I'm going to finish 12 this year. So this year I've completely blown that out of the water. I've finished, as I said, 50. If I keep going the way that I'm going, I'm hoping to have finished 100 books. So I am going to put them together now. They look pretty impressive, if I do say so myself. There's quite a lot. So again, sorry if I'm repeating myself. I don't know how much you will have been aware of, or that you will know about. My plan for this is to make it into a blanket. So I'm going to buy some plain yarn and probably some light grey yarn, and I'm going to do 2 borders on each of the granny squares. So white is going to be books that I have read the paper version of, and grey is going to be books that I have listened to the audiobook version of. Then my plan is to crochet them all together in lines. If I feel that the blanket will not be long enough, I will put some more rows in between each of the rows of granny squares, if that makes sense. Then on the outside I will crochet 1 sort of border, and then once I've got the plain white border, I am going to use the leftover yarn to crochet the next border. So this is my scrap ball so far. So once I've finished a granny square, usually I have some left over. The 2 colours that I have left over, I have put them in order into this ball, and I'm just really excited to see what this looks like. Obviously, as I crochet the blanket together, all of the squares will be in order, and then as I start doing the border, they will all be in chronological order as well, so hopefully there will be some matching. For the border, I am looking to do a simple granny square. So a white granny square border, then a multicoloured one. I think that will tie the whole blanket together. Yeah. So I think I probably have shown you the bag that I'm working from. It's still a Christmas bag. It's one of my embroidered elephant handmade ones, but this is just a really good sized bag. I thought there was a bee in here then. So the yarn that I am working from, I pulled back from a project that I had bought online. So it had lots of hand-dyed yarns in it, and because there was so much of it, that's what I decided to work from. So I'm actually working from these little bits of yarn, leftover yarn. Most of them I believe are hand-dyed. I'm not 100% sure of the composition. I think most of them are the standard 75-25 merino, superwash merino, but I don't have a label with each of them. So yeah, most of the yarn is from the blanket, so I'm not actually sure where a lot of it comes from. The bigger bits, such as this black one, they are from my stash. That's leftover yarn that I had. This red one is hand-dyed yarn that I bought for a separate project, but I'm running out of red. There's so many books I've read that have the colour red in them. So this one I've just pulled up and I'm using. So I've got more of that. But yeah, some of them have bigger quantities, but it's really just gamble. These are the pink yarns, so I've got pinks and purples, I've got loads of those. Multicoloured, I don't really have a lot left of. And the blues and greens, again, I don't really have much left. So the main thing that I'm finding a little bit challenging about the project is just finding the right colours of yarn for each of the book covers, because as I said, I'm trying to not buy more yarn, because it's very rare that you can buy sort of like 5 grams of a yarn, which is what I would need to do the project. I think each of the granny squares weighs about 4 or 5 grams, so I need like 2.5 grams of each colour. You can't really buy that in hand-dyed yarn, so hence why I'm trying to use either what's in my stash or predominantly what I recovered from the crochet blanket. But it's really difficult because there's not a big selection of yarn. So these are all of the greens and blues that I have. There's not really a lot of selection. Blacks, greys, whites. Again, they are predominantly in here. There's not really a big selection in here either, because I want the colours to be fully representative of the front covers of the books. Sometimes it's not quite the right shade, which does bother me slightly. Doesn't bother me enough to go out and buy hand-dyed yarns for each of the projects, but it does bother me. So that's the only thing that's a little bit difficult. Apart from getting the right colours, it's a really easy project. It's just keeping on top of it. As I said, I need to weave in the ends of each of the squares. I need to start getting better at keeping up with reading. And yeah, I am planning on buying the yarn for the borders and for the edges of each of the squares towards the end of the year, because I don't know exactly how much yarn I will need, and I don't want to buy a small quantity of yarn, go and buy some more and they've sold out, and therefore the yarn doesn't match, if that makes sense. I've never crocheted a project as big as this or as ongoing as this one, so it's just figuring out what works best, I guess. But yeah, I'm really happy with my progress so far. I'm really impressed that I finished so many books. I'm hoping to finish a few more this month so that I can just keep adding to it, and each of the squares does take quite a long time to do, so some of them take longer than others, but if you think that each of them may take around 20 minutes, that's a long time so far. So yes, this project will definitely run till the end of December. The blanket won't be finished by December because I will need to crochet each of the squares together. As I said, I'm not going to start doing that until the end of the year, so that I've got a good idea of how many squares I will have to edge and how much yarn I might need to do that. I think that I will probably end up winding up more hand-dyed yarn from my personal stash to finish this project off. As I said, I think some of the colours that I have are more representative, which again isn't a bad thing because yarn that's used is never wasted. If it's in this project, at least it's getting used rather than just sitting in my stash. But yeah, I'd rather not be left with a lot of tiny portions of yarn. So yeah. Anyway, I will be doing another update in about 3 months' time, just so you can see how many squares I've made and see what the blanket is looking like, and hopefully get a good idea of how many squares I'm going to have. As I said, I'm aiming for around 100 books finished this year, so that the blanket is big enough, to be completely honest. But if I don't get there, as I said, I have got contingencies in place so I can make the blanket a little bit longer. But yes, 100 books is what I'm going for, and it will help me to get rid of books from my shelf as well, which is always great. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. Hopefully it has been interesting. If you are making your own year-long project, I would love to hear from you, or if you have any other suggestions, I would love to hear them if you comment below. And apart from that, I will speak to you soon. Take care, all the best. Thank you for watching this video. Take care. Bye.